Friends, we had already uploaded the first part of this story, where a rich father's spoiled child fell in love with his own stepsister. And now, we bring you the second part of this story, where Nick and Nova have become completely free. Both of them had become so crazy for each other that they didn't care about anything else except each other. Whenever they came close to one another, they started losing control over themselves and did such things that we will see in today's complete story. So hello friends, my name is Ishida, and the second part of this story begins with Nova's 18th birthday. Today, she has turned 18, and on this special occasion, William and Nova's mom, Rafaela, have organized a small party together. A lot of people had come, but Nova was not enjoying the party at all because Nick was not there. In fact, Nick's dad, William, had sent him away for a law internship. Meanwhile, Nova's friend Jenna comes to her and says, "Come with me, I'll lift your mood." Then they both go to a room, take out some champagne, and start drinking. Tomorrow is the last day of school, and they start talking about it. The atmosphere lightens a bit, but then Nova finds out that Nick is back. She immediately rushes outside like a mad person to see Nick, and upon seeing him, hugs him happily. Then, without saying anything, they start kissing each other. They don't even realize that William and Rafaela are watching all this from the balcony above. In reality, they never wanted Nick and Nova to get close. But Nick and Nova, as if wanting to erase months of distance in a single moment, start getting intimate right there outside and try to quench their longing. After that, Nick gives her a beautiful necklace as a birthday gift and puts it on her himself. At that moment, there's a different sparkle in Nova's eyes, and she loves the gift. Then for the next few days, they spend time together, going to various places and having a lot of fun. The story moves forward, where Nova's friends throw a party to celebrate the end of high school. There, all the students start dancing in excitement because after high school, they were going to college. Meanwhile, Nick's friend Lion comes to him and jokingly says, "We're just 5 years senior to them. Now that they'll go to college, they'll start flying high and have fun with new guys. People like us will get busy with work, and they'll enjoy themselves with guys their age. My girlfriend Jenna is also going to medical college, and I'll be stuck here in my garage. You'll go back out for your internship, and Nova will stay here in college. Long-distance relationships are very sensitive." Hearing this, Nick replies, "Don't worry, nothing like that will happen. We'll never be far from them." The next day, after the school's convocation, Nova is returning from school with her mom, dad, and Nick. On the way, she sees many parents gifting their kids brand new cars. Surprised, Nova says, "These people are spoiling their kids by giving them such expensive gifts." But then she finds out that Nick and her mom and dad have also bought a fantastic car for her. Seeing the car, she gets extremely excited and initially refuses to accept it. But on Nick's insistence, she accepts the gift. After that, Nick takes her for a drive, where Nova, thrilled with her new gift, drives the car very fast. Then Nick takes her to show his new house and says, "Grandpa gifted me this house. From now on, this house belongs to both of us, and you'll be happy to know that I won't go far for my internship anymore. I'll do it here." While talking, Nick starts kissing her, and they slowly start getting closer romantically. During this, Nick says, "From today, we'll live together here and no one will disturb us." Hearing this, Nova is shocked and feels that Nick doesn't want to stay with her for love, but for fun. She gets angry and leaves, saying, "I'm 18 now, and I can't think about living together." Later in a night scene at a party, Nick tells his friend Lion, "I messed up, man. I shouldn't have said all that to Nova so suddenly. She got angry with me as soon as she heard about living together." Meanwhile, Nova tells her friend Jenna, "I thought Nick loved me, but now his actions are pointing to just one thing. Falling in love with these guys is nothing but stupidity." But Jenna explains, "Look, Nova, I've known Nick since childhood. Maybe he's scared of losing you, and I think he still loves you as much as before. His mom left him, and since then, he's been very sensitive about such matters. You should go talk to him." Listening to Jenna, Nova goes to Nick, and they try to act normal. The next day, Nova's mom takes her to see her hostel room, where she'll stay while studying in college. There, she'll live with her new roommate, Briar. There's a small story about Briar's past that we'll find out later. On the other hand, Nick is at his dad's office, where his dad has hired a new girl named Sophia to help with Nick's internship. Sophia introduces herself to Nick and says, "I know everything about you. You look very innocent, but your eyes scan girls instantly. So when I leave, don't stare at my butt." Saying this, she leaves. Later, we see Nova and her mom, where Nova's mom shows her a picture of her with Nick and directly asks, "What's going on between you two? Do you have any idea what would happen if this picture got out in the news? You'll have to stop all this, or people will start saying that the mom and daughter have fallen so low for money." But Nova doesn't want to hear anything and replies, "We love each other. I'm 18 now, and I don't care what people say." After that, Nova returns to her hostel, but as soon as she arrives, she sees a party going on. Seeing Nova, Briar immediately tells everyone to leave and takes Nova to their room. Seeing Nova's bad mood, Briar tries to cheer her up and says, "You were supposed to come after 7 days." Nova replies, "Nothing felt good, so I came early." Then Briar shares, "I also loved someone once, but he betrayed me, and now I'm happy alone." Just then, a guy named Michael comes to pick up his jacket. Briar introduces him to Nova, saying, "He lives in the flat across from us and is a really nice guy." On the other side, William calls Rafaela and says, "Your idea worked. There seems to be good chemistry between them at the office." In reality, Sophia was hired to create distance between Nova and Nick, and this was all part of Nova's mom's plan. Later, we see Nick and Nova going to meet Nick's sister, Maggie, and the three of them have a lot of fun together. After spending some time, as they're about to leave, Nick's real mom, Claudia, shows up. But Nick doesn't want any relationship with his mom anymore because she left him 10 years ago. So, without saying anything, he leaves with Nova. Back home, he becomes very sad and says to Nova, "She didn't remember me for 10 years, so why is she coming to meet me now?" Seeing Nick upset, Nova tries to comfort him and starts kissing him lovingly. Then Nick takes her inside the room, and they start sharing a lot of love. Nova fully feels this moment. After that, Nova takes Nick to her hostel apartment. As soon as Nick enters, his eyes fall on Briar, and he's shocked. Nova tells him, "This is my roommate, Briar." But the surprise is clear on Nick's face because Briar was his ex-girlfriend, whom he parted ways with after an accident. Without saying much, Nick makes an excuse and leaves, but accidentally leaves his phone behind. Later, we see Nick with Lion in a car where Lion says, "I came here to deliver drugs on my brother's orders, but now I'm scared." Nick advises him, "If you needed money, you could have asked me. Why did you have to do all this? I promised Nova I wouldn't do anything wrong anymore, so I can't go inside with you." But out of friendship, after Lion goes in, Nick follows. There, they confront Ronnie's brother, Luca. Meanwhile, we see Nova, using Nick's phone, reaching the same place. Seeing Nova, Luca gets furious and says, "Because of you and your dad, my brother Ronnie had to go to jail. Your dad was brutally killed, and unfortunately, you survived." Hearing this, Nova starts arguing back, leading to a fight. Luca's men try to attack the three of them and they fight back. But then the police arrive and arrest everyone. During this, Sophia handles the case and gets Nick and Nova released. Nick tells her, "Please don't tell Dad about this." The next scene is a bit peaceful, where Nick gifts Nova a cute kitten. Then they both go to Nova's apartment, where Nova tries to get close to Nick. At first, Nick refuses, but Nova says, "Briar is out, and no one will disturb us here." Hearing this, Nick agrees, and they get very close and start sharing love. Just as this is about to end, Briar walks in, making them both uncomfortable, and Nick has to leave. The next morning, Nick's mom, Claudia, comes to the hostel to meet Nova. Nova asks, "What did you come here for?" Claudia says, "I need to talk about something important regarding Nick." But Nova doesn't want to talk and asks her to leave. Claudia says, "Nick needs help, and if you want to know the truth, call me." Saying this, she leaves. The next day, Nova goes to Nick's house for dinner, where she meets Sophia. Seeing Sophia, she feels very jealous because Nick is doing his internship with her, which she doesn't like. They all start having dinner together, But Nova notices that Nick and Sophia are getting quite close, which she doesn't like at all. In anger, she leaves, saying in front of everyone that she and Nick want to live together. Everyone is shocked, but Nova's mom handles the situation by telling everyone that today is the anniversary of Nova's dad's death, and since then, she has been having nightmares, which is why she sometimes behaves this way. Later, Nick goes to Nova and apologizes for forgetting about the day. But Nova is angry and says, "You're lying to me and slowly getting close to Sophia." Nick explains, "My relationship with Sophia is purely professional and I only love you." Nova says, "Your dad wants to get you married to Sophia." He replies, "That won't happen. I'll never let it happen and you should trust me." But Nova still leaves. The next day, Nova calls Claudia to her house to meet. Since no one was home, Claudia asks her to look at some papers kept in the dryer. When Nova sees those photos and documents, she learns that Nick's dad, William, falsely accused his wife Claudia to get a divorce and took Nick's custody, while the truth was that William was already in a relationship with Nova's mom. Meanwhile, Claudia goes to William's room and secretly takes his toothbrush. The next day, Nick takes Nova out for dinner to make up with her and shows her a tattoo of her name on his hand. Nova is happy but says, "You shouldn't have done this. It'll stay with you forever." After that, they start dancing, during which Nick tells her that he has to go to London with Sophia for a case. Nova says, "It's fine. I'm not upset about it." Afterward, they spend the night together. The next morning, Nick and Sophia leave for London, where Nick meets his grandpa and asks about Briar. His grandpa tells him, "After that accident, Briar was in a mental hospital for 2 years, and it wasn't your fault, so don't worry." Just then, Sophia comes and says they won the case. In excitement, Nick hugs Sophia and gives her a kiss. But we see someone taking pictures of this moment. Later, when Nick returns home, he calls for Nova, but she's not there. Meanwhile, we see Nova partying with Briar and Michael at the hostel apartment. After a while, Briar gets tired and goes to sleep. Michael is about to leave when he tries to get close to Nova, but she refuses. Just then, Nick arrives and, seeing Nova and Michael together, gets angry, thinking Nova cheated on him. He starts saying things in misunderstanding. Nova says, "It's not what you think," but adds, "Day by day, misunderstandings are growing between us, so maybe we should take a break for a few days." Hearing this, Nick agrees and leaves angrily. After that, Nick gets busy with work, but we see Sophia, who has started liking Nick. Meanwhile, Michael gets a chance to impress Nova. One day, Nick goes to Lion's garage, where Lion tells him, Ronnie is out of jail and is participating in a race 2 days from now. They decide this is the chance to take revenge on Ronnie, because when Ronnie kidnapped Nova, the police arrested him and put him in jail. Since then, there hasn't been a single car race, and now it's time to take revenge. They plan not to let Jenna or Nova find out because, that same night, Nick's dad is hosting a success party, so they'll win the race and join the party afterward. When the day arrives, Nick and Lion reach the racing spot, where Ronnie and some other guys are also participating. But then Nova arrives with Jenna and Nick finds out she's also racing. A girl explains the racing rules. If the police show up during the race, you're all responsible, and the winner will get the prize money only after the race is fully completed. The race begins and a fierce competition starts. Meanwhile, Briar calls the police to report an illegal race. Soon the police start chasing them, but the racers dodge them and continue. However, a police car reaches the finish line and points guns at them. To trap Ronnie, Nick and Nova start hitting his car from both sides, trapping it and causing it to crash into the police car, letting their friend Lion win the race. The police arrest Ronnie for illegal racing and attacking the police while the other racers escape. Later they reach home, where the party has already started, and many people are there. Nova enters with Briar, and Lion apologizes to his girlfriend Jenna. Jenna says, "I love you a lot, but you always chase money and do wrong things." Lion says, "Winning the race today didn't make me happy. I'm happiest with you." But Jenna doesn't listen and leaves. Meanwhile, Briar has told Nova everything about her and Nick's past. Nick tells Briar, I didn't know what happened to you after the accident. Briar says, after the accident, you left me and ran away. I was pregnant, and everything was ruined, and your family was behind it all. You never even tried to find me. After that, Briar goes through the kitchen and brings Nick's mom, Claudia, to the party. Seeing Claudia, everyone is shocked. She talks to everyone and reveals the truth. William divorced me for Rafaela because they were already having an affair, and I was falsely accused to keep Nick away from me. To avoid ruining the party atmosphere, they all go to the garden to talk. There, William says, all doors of this family are closed for you. What do you want now? Claudia shows a DNA report and says, my daughter Maggie is also William's daughter, born after the divorce, so she deserves her share of your property. William asks, how did you get my DNA? She says, I took it from your toothbrush, and if you refuse to give the property, I'll file a case against you. Nick asks, how did you get into the house? Nova says, I took her there. Hearing this, Nick gets very angry and says, because of you, our entire family is ruined. Nova tries to explain, I thought your mom wanted to fix everything, but Nick doesn't listen and starts to leave angrily. Nova follows him inside to explain, but Nick starts kissing Sophia, which breaks Nova's heart. Briar comes to Nova and shows her some pictures of Nick and Sophia, and we learn that Briar was behind those photos taken that day. And she also told Michael to get close to Nova because she wanted revenge on Nick. Seeing the pictures, Nova gets even more upset and leaves. Meanwhile, Nick, angry, is driving somewhere when Lion tells him, you didn't do right by Nova. You don't ruin a loving relationship over a sudden issue. Realizing his mistake, Nick returns to the party to talk to Nova, but Briar tells him, Nova will never meet you now. Nick heads to Nova's hostel to find her. Meanwhile, Nova goes to Michael's room, pretending she lost her room's key. Michael realizes something happened between Nova and Nick. Nick keeps messaging Nova, but before she sees, Michael turns off her phone. In anger and stubbornness, Nova gets intimate with Michael, who takes full advantage of the moment. Afterward, we see a very upset Nova. Michael brings her coffee, but she refuses and goes outside. Nick is already waiting outside in the rain, but seeing her come out of Michael's room in that state, he understands everything is over between them. Nova passes by without saying anything, and Nick drives away. At the end of the story, Nova goes to her dad's grave and, sadly, says goodbye to him forever. But then she sees something written there by Nick, saying he'll always be with her. Reading this, Nova gets very emotional. It feels like everything is over between them, but what happens in the next part of the story remains a suspense, and with this suspense, the story ends here. So friends, I hope you loved this story,